Hey everyone. Sorry, I probably look a little bit haggard. It was a long day. But we are going to do Q&A part 5 for the month of May. I'm just going to pull the questions up here. There hasn't been any more questions in a couple of days, pretty much at the end of the time period for submitting, putting in comments, submitting questions for Q&A. So I'm just going to go with these for now, and we'll go from there. So, a couple of things before we start. Again, at the beginning of every month, so whatever the first work day of the month, be that the first, the third, or whatever, the first day, the beginning of the month, basically, post will go up in the community tab section of my channel for Q&A, for questions. So when that pops up, then you just go to that, leave a comment with a question or questions or whatever, and I will answer them for that coming, for the month, usually about a week and a half or so out from when the post goes up. And then I'll answer the questions, and then that video will go up sometime in the month. Other things. Some other bigger videos coming soon. Part 2 of the night vision and stuff will be coming out at some point. Part 1 of night vision just dropped. Part 2 will be coming out at some point. Other than that, some big like music releases for my music project stuff will be coming out soon. And either, you know, videos of that stuff will come out along with any announcements and things like that. So to get notified or to see new comments or to see new posts in the community tab of my channel, usually it's at your YouTube landing page. So just when you open YouTube, the main page, the landing page, and you'll see somewhere in there bracketed a list of new community posts from people that you subscribe to will pop up, and you'll see the new posts. So at the beginning of the month, there will be an announcement for Q&A, and then that's where other community tab related posts will show up in large, because I don't get notified of them when I'm on the computer. I don't know if you do on the phone or mobile, but that's where that is for now. So yeah, other than that, new subscribers, welcome to my channel. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate every single one of you. If you don't know what my channel is about, go to the About section, the About tab section of my channel page, and read that. I don't pigeonhole myself to one type of content, and I'm going to keep it that way because I'm going to do what the hell I want. So, that aside, welcome. Hope you enjoy everything, or if you're just here for one kind of thing, cool, check them out. I have some playlists set up for different kinds of things as well. All that aside, time for Q&A part 5 for the month of... Shit, what is it? May? Losing track here. Time is flying by, folks. So, let's see here. Just going kind of in order of posts. So, from my brother, One Round Left, hope you're doing well. Your question was, what was your favorite duty station in the Army? I only had one duty station. That was Fort Benning, Georgia. I was a Benning baby. They're renaming the base, but it's always going to be Fort Benning to those of us who were there when it was Fort Benning. Either just for training or living there as well. That was my duty station. Other than that, it was just deployments. But I always came back. That was my duty station in the Army, was Fort Benning, Georgia. So that's my one and only favorite duty station. And Benning was cool. I enjoyed Benning. It was different. I had lived in Texas as a kid, so I kind of understood what it was about with the southern heat and things like that in Georgia. The humidity was considerably higher, though, because I lived in more central Texas when I lived there as a kid. So the humidity was higher, but I got used to it pretty quick. You just hydrate. But there's a lot to do. That's a huge base, first off, as you know, because you went through infantry school there too, One Round Left, and anybody else who went through infantry school in Fort Benning, or jump school, or sniper school or ranger school, it was all there. Some of that's starting to get moved around a little bit because I guess armor school is at Benning now, which was news to me as of a couple of years ago. They moved that from Fort Knox, Kentucky to Fort Benning, Georgia. And again, they're renaming Fort Benning, which I think that's stupid, but whatever. It is what it is. But fond and terrible, but also fond memories of Fort Benning. I enjoyed it. So that was my duty station, my one and only. So thank you for your question there, brother. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Okay, so from ACR Protect, brother out there in Texas, hope you're doing well. Always appreciate your comments. Also, go check out his channel. He does some tactical gear stuff and prepping and things like that, but he also does beer reviews, and I appreciate that, especially because it's good beer, not piss water. You know, we're talking the 10, 11, 9, 10, 11% by volume beers, proper beers, as well as mead, because I'm a big mead aficionado as well. So go check out ACR Protect. Excuse me, I itch. I appreciate you, brother. So, questions here. Do you have let's see, do you have a specific concealed carry firearm for off-duty purposes? Yes, I carry a Gen 5 Glock 23, so it's the compact 40 caliber Glock. So, but it's interchangeable magazines with any other 40 caliber Glock, really. Well, that size and larger. And I use which I just did a video on not that long ago, I use the G-Code Synchron holster with that, which is very much similar to the Haley Strategic Incog, because G-Code made that holster as well. But I really like the Synchron holster. It's extremely comfortable and really doesn't print the firearm on your body at all. So that's what I carry for personal CCW, is a Glock Gen 5 Glock 23 with the G-Code Synchron holster. I have a couple other pistols, but you know, those aren't. I don't carry those for CCW because they're full frame pistols. Next, what is your all-time favorite alcoholic beverage? Man, I can't drink it anymore because of the whole gluten intolerance discovery from my toxic exposure injury, and I've made a big video on that, so people need to go check that out too, because I'm totally gluten intolerant now, not by choice. Westmalle, the Belgian Tripel. Westmalle, my all-time favorite beer. When it comes to hard out, and then mead for you know, your wine kind of alcoholic beverages. There's a couple of different kinds of mead that I really like. I don't really have a specific favorite, although White Winter Winery's sweet mead is really good. I like the more sweet, not dry meads. So for that. And then other than that, vodka. Love my vodkas. I have yet to find an all-time favorite vodka, but Zubrovka, I believe I'm pronouncing that right. The Polish bison grass vodka is up there, one of my favorites, but unfortunately it's made with grain, so I can't really drink that one anymore. So I occasionally will put a review video up of other vodkas that I can drink, made from potatoes, grapes, sugar beets. The Perun Serbian-made sugar beet vodka was quite delicious, as well as the Hansen of Sonoma small batch grape-based vodka was quite delicious as well. And there are some others, and Salmiakki is another one that I really enjoy, and that's salted licorice though. So that's a salted licorice liqueur. Very much a vodka though, because I pretty much use vodka as the base for that, and then make it salty licorice, and I love salted licorice, so that's my other favorite. So I don't have an all-time favorite like singular, but I have favorites in each category type of alcohol. So hopefully that answers that question. Thank you for the question. Appreciate you, Boila. Okay, question. This is your first question ever, at least in my Q&A threads, but from Christian Nassen. GN Gnarson. You had a kind of strange and funny question. Um, whose side are you on when the tapioca tyrants invade and force feed us tapioca pudding? Either 105-year-olds or 100-year-olds. That is a oddly specific yet great question. I would go with the 105-year-olds. They could probably pack down more tapioca pudding, and you have 100 of them, so that is at least 100 pounds, at least 100, what would be 100 pounds or 100 liters, I don't know, of tapioca pudding, compared to just 100-year-olds who usually have a very shrunken diet and appetite in large, and they can only eat so much. So 105-year-olds would be hilarious for that. The whole situation is hilarious, but that would be the optimal choice, would be 105-year-olds to eat as much of the tapioca pudding that the tyrants were feeding us. That's my logical choice, I guess, with that. So, thanks for the question. That was random and funny. I appreciate you. Okay. From Fatty Westside, brother. Hope you're doing all right. Who is your favorite YouTuber? That's hard for me. I can't pick because I don't just watch one kind of entertainment or content, whatever you want to call it, on YouTube. So I don't have a favorite in that regard. There are some who I watch almost every video of, apart from my friends like yourself, you know, and obviously, you know, I know Brent0331. I've trained with him before. I love his videos. Doc Christopher Larson, his stuff is great. Brandon Herrera, I really like Brandon Herrera, and I like Donut Operator, for guys that are a little bit bigger in the whole community. Even, you know, Ian Forgotten Weapons, like, love his stuff. And then, like, musicians and stuff, because, like, I'm big on music and metal, and I'm involved in that community, too. So I'm always watching stuff, whether it's from the Black Dahlia Murder, which they've been putting out videos about their recent tour, and it's really cool to see, especially, cause I've listened to that band from the beginning, really. Or Tilak, the guitarist from Mayhem, or Ghoul, the guitarist from Mayhem. Occasionally he puts videos up, you know. I don't have a singular favorite YouTuber or YouTube channel. I am subscribed to a lot of channels. A lot of channels, well over 1,500 channels. So I watch a lot of different stuff. I'm even subscribed to, like, Trenton and Heath, who are two brothers, veterans, who have a cobbler business. I think out in Tennessee, maybe? I can't remember exactly where it is. I mean, I'll put that stuff on to sleep to, just watching them restore old boots and stuff. It's freaking awesome. So, I mean, there's a whole slew of channels that I watch of different kinds of entertainment and informational stuff and everything else. So, I don't have one favorite. I can't pick one. Can't do it. Sorry. It's a good question, though. There's a lot of great channels out there, and I'm always finding more. In various kinds of content, music and otherwise, that I follow and enjoy. So, okay, so I had some additional questions, so there's going to be a cut in the video here. Had a couple more questions come in kind of last minute before the post, Q&A post went down for this month. Couple questions from my brother Insane Gull, buddy in Finland. Cheers, Veli. Kippis. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, a couple questions here. First question, what's your favorite beer or booze? So I answered that with ACR Protect's question, kind of asking the same thing. So beer-wise, probably the Belgian Trapel Westmalle is my favorite. And then for like wine, mead. Many different kinds of mead that I like. So yeah, there's that. I do like port as well. I like port and tawny. Tawny is pretty good too. It's basically like an Australian version of a port. But I think it's 6 Grapes Port is one of my favorite port wines. Otherwise, mead. And then for like hard liquor and stuff, vodka. Different kinds, but again, nowadays it's got to be potato-based, proper, grape-based, or something else like sugar beets. For me personally, and then salmiakki, but I think that's made with grain alcohol, isn't it? You'll have to get back to me on that one because I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so that's for that. Um, Question two: have you ever cried at a film? Ooh, yeah. I mean, there's moments in films that pull on your heartstrings, and that's very much an individual thing. Because certain films will make people cry more than other films, and vice versa. One of my favorite movies, and it's a more recent film, but one of my favorite movies is 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, about the GRS operators working in Benghazi, Libya, when that whole event went down in 2008. There were some scenes in that kind of got me because I had just gotten out of the military and I was starting contracting and everything, and it really hit home for me, especially because people know people through people kind of thing. That one, it was an action-packed movie, but especially the end, definitely related to that on a very, very realistic level. Plus, true story. Um, yeah, other films too. I mean, there's a couple obviously that always pull at people's heartstrings. I don't really cry all that much, watching movies and stuff, but that was one of those that just for some reason got me, and it's still one of my favorite movies in recent times anyway. So fantastic movie though. Yeah. Question three. You won the lottery. What would you do? Oh, well, it depends on how much I won, right? Because, I mean, if we're talking high millions, hundreds of millions, or, the Powerball here got really high at one point, almost $1 billion. If I'm winning that kind of money, I'm not going to have to work another day of my life, even though I'm going to continue doing things that I enjoy doing, playing music and bands and doing all that stuff. I would buy a nice piece of property that has a lot of acreage and space, and keep that as my home base kind of compound, homestead. Keep it very private and very secure. I would do some traveling. Obviously do some investing and other things, but yeah, I would just travel and see friends and probably donate a little bit to some charities that I actually care about, especially when it comes to rescuing animals and things like that, as well as for veterans. But other than that, I mean, I would live a fairly quiet life. Obviously, still have a presence on YouTube and things like that, but I would live a pretty quiet life. Away from most people, but obviously host and hang out with people and friends and do all that stuff. So there's a couple of things that I would do, but I would just enjoy the ride if I was that secure financially. So that's a good question. So yeah, there are things I would do philanthropically, but otherwise I would just enjoy myself and yeah, do what I want to do. So. Bonus question. What's your favorite joke? Ooh. Ooh. Dude, I've got a bunch of jokes that I really like. And some are really dark. I have a pretty fucked up sense of humor. I've got some very gallows and dark humor, sense of humor too. There's a lot of jokes that I like, man. It is hard to pin down just one. uh, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell some of those jokes on YouTube, actually. What? I might have to tell you some of those jokes in private just because they are so fucked up. I like dad jokes a lot too. It's just dad jokes. Those are great too, as much as the really dark shit that I have a laugh at, and that's the thing with people like us. We have a sense of humor for that kind of thing. We have to laugh in the worst of times. So it is some of the best medicine and brings levity to the whole situation to keep going and enjoy yourself. I'll tell you some of the really fucked up jokes later, man. But there's a bunch of dad jokes that are great, that are floating out there. Just a bunch, you know, not my jokes or anything, just a bunch of people's jokes, just dad jokes, and then, of course, a bunch of dark jokes. I can't pick one, and some of them I cannot say on YouTube, because it would... it would make people's heads explode. Like Scanners, the movie. Great movie, by the way. Yeah. I'll tell you some of those jokes later, man. They're fucking great. Okay, wait. So one of them, what's the best way to pick up 5 babies? The soft spot on the top of their head. Sorry. That's my sense of humor, dude. For you Christian folk that think people go to hell for that kind of thing, probably, but I'm gonna enjoy the ride, so gotta fucking enjoy life. And yeah, so yeah, that rounds it up. So we'll cut back to the other part of the other video. Thanks for the questions, bro. Let's see. President Merkin Muffley said, quote, so this is regarding the meme that I put up for the Q&A thread. It's like the 2 ladies and they're screaming, and then subcontacts with the cat, you know, and making the face and stuff, and the ladies, and it's done in like an artistic, like Japanese Chinese art style, and it's funny because they're screaming like the art of war is about how to win wars, and the cat over there is like the art of war is about avoiding war. It's just a great meme. So if you haven't seen it, there it is. It's out there. You can find it. But President Merkin Muffley just simply said, quote, to subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill, unquote. And I agree. Very much so. You have to be as much of a thinker and I wouldn't say academic, but to that degree. You have to be a thinker and gain knowledge and wisdom is as important as it is to be skilled in controlling the battle space and using your skills otherwise to avoid conflict or win conflict. So it's both. It's both. That rounds it up. Those are all the questions that I got. So a little bit, I think, shorter one this time around, but that's okay because there were some great questions. And I always appreciate good, well-thought questions, no matter how funny they are, or how introspective they may get, or whatever it is. So, yeah, that'll round it off. Thank you for all of the questions this time around. Q&A number 6 thread will go up at the beginning of June, so keep your eyes peeled for that thread, and when the community post goes up for that thread, to ask questions. Hopefully I'll get some more questions because I enjoy doing these. Yeah, some good questions here. So I appreciate those questions and I appreciate all of you. And thank you for tuning in. More stuff coming soon. Metal up. Out.